Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Rolene Marks, your host, and like we do every day, let's have a look at the stories making headlines. Last week, we covered in quite a significant amount of depth the story about the 19-year-old British tourist who is still yet to be named, and her allegations of rape against 12 Israeli boys on the island of Cyprus. Now, the story just gets more and more nebulous by the day, and today's latest update is that the 19-year-old is accusing Cyprus police of coercing, or rather forcing, her statement recanting the accusation of rape. And according to her lawyer, she is the victim of revenge porn and was not allowed access to a lawyer as per international law. So we're going to see how this plays out. Last week, a Cypriot judge remanded her into custody for 8 days and said to her that her false accusation had led to the unnecessary arrest of the 12 Israeli boys. The 12 boys themselves facing a lot of criticism back here in Israel for the way that they behaved on their return to Israel. While everybody is relieved that they will not be facing charges of rape, many feel that they could have been at least a lot more modest in their conduct, and that the accusation that they are now facing of revenge porn, which according to Israeli law, and Israel was one of the first countries to pass this law, bans the distribution of so-called revenge porn material on any kind of platform, and footage of the now we know consensual sex between 3 of the boys and the 19-year-old are doing the rounds on various WhatsApp groups and porn sites, and it remains to be seen whether or not Israeli authorities will take any action there. So we will be keeping an eye on this case, but it is one that just gets or seems to get more uglier by the day. And also no less attractive are the elections coming up next month on the 17th of September. And the latest there is that Likud's top 40, who make up the top 40 on the Likud list, have signed a declaration of support for Prime Minister Netanyahu, saying that they will not seek an alternative leader after the September the 17th elections. Now, this follows a demand by Israel Beitenu leader Avigdor Lieberman, who many are calling the kingmaker because he does seem to hold the keys to future coalition building come the election results. He demanded that Likud put forward an alternative if Netanyahu and the Likud win next month's election and are unable to form a coalition. He has tried to work for, or approached rather, the blue and white to form a unity government with Prime Minister Netanyahu. Neither side seems to be prepared to, and in his challenge to Netanyahu to a TV debate, Avigdor Lieberman says that there needs to be some kind of alternative. And ending this broadcast on a high note after all the drama of the last 2 stories, and it would be remiss of me not to mention J-Lo and her stellar performance in Tel Aviv on Thursday night for her It's My Party tour. J-Lo and her phenomenal abs turned 50 and brought the party to Tel Aviv, but it was more than just the concert which played to rave reviews. It was the conduct of J-Lo and her fiancé Alex Rodriguez, who's known as A-Rod. It was their conduct, it was their ability to mix with Israelis, to eat at ordinary restaurants, to swim in the sea with everybody, to even take an El Al flight, and also just the love they showed, not just for Tel Aviv and the people of Tel Aviv, whose energy they said is off the chain, but also the spiritual connection they felt with Jerusalem, and the moving pictures of them at the Kotel, the Western Wall, as well as significant Christian sites like the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and Via Dolorosa, and their promise to come back to Israel. So it's done such wonders for the people of Israel, who, apart from loving J-Lo and her music, and apart from this being the epic summer that it is, really appreciate just her down-to-earth and warm and accommodating nature. Also, in other very good news, Standard & Poor's have reiterated or reaffirmed Israel's AA rating, and this is good news for investors. And as you can see, Israel seems to be a very attractive country for investors to bring their money, and this is despite political turmoil with Prime Minister Netanyahu being investigated with possible charges, with another election coming up 2 in 1 year, and also regional instability. Our credit rating is holding firm, proof that the Israeli economy, despite the efforts of some, and I'm not going to mention your names here, BDS, seems to be growing and is quite robust. And if you want to read more about Israel and issues in the Jewish world, look no further than our website. Check us out at www.layoftheland.online. And here's a story that's creating a lot of stir, and that is the potential, if you hold a Lithuanian passport and you're a male, there is a potential to face arrest. What is this all about? Well, look no further than either our website at www.layoftheland.online or our Facebook page. And while you're checking the story out there, don't forget to like us or follow us. And while you're at it, invite your friends to like or follow us as well. And if you're not viewing this on Facebook, but are viewing this on YouTube, and if you want to find Israel Brief on YouTube, simply Google or search for the Israel Brief. You can click on the subscribe button below and receive your daily Israel Brief. Well, the dogs are barking and a lot of activities happening, which means it's time to wrap it up. I'm Rolene Marks with the Israel Brief. We'll chat again tomorrow.